Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be taking a look at, and grabbing some cash in, the exciting, challenging, and humorous, but shameless crazy taxi ripoff that is Simpsons Road Rage. Back in 2001, fans of gaming and the series were pumped to hear that we were about to see a whole lot more of The Simpsons and get a much more interactive experience with the characters and the various segments of Springfield. For me, it was a Christmas present for my older brother, a fantastic addition and break from the heavy-hitting titles for our brand new Gamecube. The task was simple: pick up characters outlined in blue, and then bring them to their destination as quickly as possible. A fast trip will get you 3 seconds, $100, and some praise.
Extra spicy meatball!
This is the greatest moment of my sad life.
An average trip will get you 1 second, $50, and a lukewarm comment.
I hope you didn't puke.
Thanks for driving.
And if you're deemed slow, you will get $25, along with some criticism from your passenger.
Another satisfied customer.
Finally! I thought we were never gonna get here.
Or, if it's a really close call, you may get both.
I had to be too slow.
Professor Frank rides again.
Oh, that was the coolest.
You follow your pointer and a map as reference to lead you to their yellow outline destination. In case you're wondering how the creators got away with this clone mirroring its inspiration, they did not, and settled for an undisclosed amount in 2003. For some variety, you actually had passengers that would ask you to avoid traffic for some bonus time and money. And on the other end of the spectrum, you also had some citizens that craved destruction and were willing to pay you handsomely for it, appropriately called road rage. The Simpsons did have an interesting enough plot behind all of this, where it was up to you guys to compete against Mr. Burns and his nuclear-powered buses, which was clearly going to be a big public health concern. But as always, his power and riches were helping him see his plan through. Between your runs, they would like to show you cutscenes of him egging you on, showing frustration, or talking down to you like your plans to provide alternate transportation would never work. Your characters start out with just the Simpsons family, but quickly expand into many unlockables like the other favorites with their unique vehicles and their own set of dialogue. You also unlock the other 5 of 6 courses this way too. There is definitely a different feel to the characters, and yes, there is a downside to driving Otto's bus or Willie's tractor compared to driving with Dr. Frank or Grandpa, for example. The intro is good enough, but definitely a mixed bag. I mean, they didn't even get the color of the house right. What are you doing? Some facial expressions were a bit weird, but the sense of humor and tone were perfect. They were spot on. The communication aspect in the game is a highlight.
Take me to the Quickie Mart. I feel like a little shoplifting.
Damn great!
As well as sometimes a quirky downfall when it doesn't seem to be working correctly.
What part of get in don't you understand?
Just get me out of here.
Can I come?
The simple method of driver or passenger could use X amount of greetings or expressions along with X amount of farewells would normally make sense well enough, sometimes perfectly, and other times it was just messy and brainless banter that made you realize that the experience is much more shallow than some fans were hoping for.
Take me to the Duff Brewery, the happiest place in the world.
Superior technology breeds superior results. That was Franktastic, if I say so myself.
Take me somewhere to eat, I don't care where.
Whoa, I don't feel so good.
Hey, where can I take you? All right then.
Even still, it's obviously not meant to be taken too seriously, and what matters is the scenery, control, and music behind the game do warrant a solid, intense, and addictive experience. As a fan, it was really cool to see your favorite characters in this way, and when the banter made sense, it could be laugh-out-loud funny, especially with siblings and friends, for genuine intended reasons or just ridiculous moments of the dialogue trying to catch up with the action. Exploring Springfield across its vast landscape was so interesting, and it made you feel closer to the show that you couldn't get enough of, and seemed to provide the closest thing to an alternate day in the life. The developers knew this would be a big deal for people, so they even allowed a free roaming mode in Sunday Drive, where you're free to go wherever you want without a single mission to worry about, and only your scenery to admire and take in. They also had a very bare-bones mission mode where you had to knock things down or try to get somewhere in a certain time. In hindsight, this definitely felt like a quick experiment to test the market again for a Simpsons gaming experience with an easy concept before looking into a much more immersive and bigger plan, such as to rip off Grand Theft Auto. But hey, in that case, I think a lot of people would say that the end definitely justified the means. As I was saying earlier, the gameplay is great, and although it's an arcade style destined for you to run out of time eventually, this can actually be pushed very, very far. For example, although a typically decent run may only be in the 10 to 15k range where the curve is the sharpest, and the rating system stops at 20k, a driver with knowledge of the course, proper tight turns, straight lines, strategically parking when picking up and dropping off, and a knack for avoiding disaster, such as traffic, the atomic megabuses, or Mr. Burns himself, can absolutely go far, as the game eventually enters what is basically a fast money round period, where it barely gives you enough time to get anywhere you need to go, but if you do, it's a fast rating and 3 more seconds every single time. time. When I was going for a high score, I managed to get over 50,000, which was a 40-minute run full of nail-biting moves for over 25 minutes and 30 grand straight towards the end. And I had full intentions of beating my own high score, but got absolutely jobbed by a giant billboard blocking an entire junction, which definitely left me sour, just due to how many close saves I had previously, just for it to all get ended by some cheap crap like this.
I'm not going to dignify that with a comment.
My wife is going to kill me.
Yeah, so Simpsons Road Rage, of course, it's still fun. It's easy to pop in and play once in a while. It's dated a little bit, you know, and it's rough around the edges, but it's quirky and fun and still a good time today. And I'm definitely still thankful that I got this for Christmas from my older brother back in the day. And just simply looking at it definitely reminds me of the other Gamecube games that were waiting for us underneath that tree. It was an epic Christmas. Probably we'll talk about these in the future here soon. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, commenting, and subscribing, and I hope to see you guys very soon for day 5, and then, of course, next week, and until I'm back to work. So have a great rest of your day. Thanks again.